Rules of decorum. No person attending a public meeting shall engage in disorderly or boisterous conduct, including but not limited to applause, whistling, stamping of feet, booing, or making any loud, threatening, profane, abusive, personal, or slanderous utterance that disturbs, disrupts, or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting. All remarks by members of the public shall be addressed to the mayor or the chair and not to any other member of the public or any other single council, board, or commission member, unless in response to a question from the member. Signs, placards, banners, or other similar items shall not be permitted in the audience during a public meeting if the presence of such item disturbs, disrupts, or otherwise impedes the orderly conduct of the meeting. All persons attending a public meeting shall remain seated in the seats provided unless addressing the body at the podium or entering or leaving the meeting. All persons attending a public meeting shall obey any lawful order of the presiding officer to enforce the rules of decorum. Treat everyone courteously, listen to others respectfully, exercise self-control, give open-minded considerations to all viewpoints, focus on the issues and avoid personalizing debate, embrace respectful disagreement and dissent as democratic rights that are inherent components of an inclusive public process and roles for forging sound decisions.
Calling the Carson Reclamation Authority meeting to order for Monday, March 2nd, 2026. Authority Secretary, roll call, please. Your mic's not
Present.
on. Your mic's not on.
Sorry. Board Member Aldridge Jr.,
Present.
Board Member Lillian Hobson,
Present.
Board Member Diane Thomas,
Here.
Authority Vice Chair Cedric Hicks,
Present.
Authority Chair Lula Davis Holmes.
Present.
Flag salute by. Anybody jump at the bit? Aldridge. Ray.
Okay. Right hands over your heart, please. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Invocation by our illustrious Thomas.
Please bow. Most gracious Heavenly Father, once again, we're so thankful for all of your oversight, your watching over this city and all those who are you have set in place, dear Heavenly Father, to run this city. We're thankful for our mayor, our city council, our staff, and all those who work to make this city the great jewel of the South Bay. As we approach your throne for another meeting for the CRA board, we are praying that you will grant us your wisdom and your knowledge and understanding so that the decisions we make will be decisions that will glorify you and that they will be successful in the project that we are attempting to build here in Carson. Be with us as we go forth in this meeting. Let us all be of one mind. For it is in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Madam Chair.
Go on.
Authority Secretary, any matters for oral communications from the public?
Seeing none, Authority Chair.
Thank you. Next item, approval of the minutes. I'll entertain a motion.
Move approval.
It's been properly moved and second. Roll call. Or cast your vote. Does it working?
Roll call.
Okay. Mic's not on.
Yes.
Board Member Aldridge Jr.,
Yes.
Board Member Lillian Hobson,
Yes.
Board Member Thomas,
Yes.
Vice Chair Hicks,
Yes.
Chair Davis Holmes,
Abstain. I wasn't at the meeting.
Motion carries
Thank you.
4-0.
Next item is consent calendar. Anybody want to remove an item from the consent calendar?
I would like to.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. Do it.
3, 4, and 5. Which one do you want?
That covered it, right?
Entertain a motion for approval of item number 2 only.
Oh, what about one? Oh, okay.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Roll call. Or we going to vote now?
Are we voting?
Who made the motion?
I did.
Thomas and
Thomas?
then
Okay.
Hobson. Second.
And second,
Lillian.
Hobson? Okay. Start vote. Vote all yes.
All righty. It's working. Please cast your vote. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
it disappeared on that one.
I did it too soon. How do I go back? Add.
I left my notes in the car.
Oh, Lord.
Who was it again?
I knew these were items, but I left my notes in the car.
It'll come back to you.
What we doing?
Thank you.
Is this again? Okay.
How do we know they all voted? It's all green. So end vote.
There you go.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 3 been pulled by the chair. Madam Chair.
Consider monthly reserves and cash report for the Carson Reclamation Authority. Is this our city clerk, city treasurer? Item number 3, quick and dirty. Not, I left my notes, but let me see this thing.
You want.
I'm gonna look at Cedric's. See if I can refresh my memory. I was laying in bed when I read the.
You know, the memory ain't good when that pencil.
Monica Cooper. Yes. Quick report. I think what I'm really trying to find out is how much money do we have that can be spent. I see this 14 million, and then I see another one says we have $67,000 or something on one of these reports.
It is 694,000. That was the
Yeah,
available
600.
cash as of January 36, 2026. And then it says balance of reserve funds as of that same date is 14.5 million.
That is correct.
Okay, the 674 is
Is the available cash that
that's
we
all
have
we have.
at that time. It is now at $1 million plus.
Okay, because someone's been paying their fees.
Yes.
We had a
Yes.
large number of receivables. This is as of January 31st, so in January.
That's the
I
1
think-
million.
It was over $1 million. It was $1,300,000 or
Yes. that's correct.
$1,400,000, something
You know,
like
I
that.
was concerned about the $2 million because we didn't have any money.
Yeah.
When I saw the 674,000, I know I started getting into panic mode again.
Yeah.
694, if that helps.
694, 674 is not $1 million.
That was January. We're
Okay.
doing better now.
We're
Much
doing better.
Yes.
And this 14 million we can use, we cannot use it. What's happening with that?
So the 14 million is part of the enterprise fund, and it's governed by the enterprise fund administration agreement. That money is for future O&M, and there's a series of thresholds that have to be met. The first cell has to receive a racer, and that sort of unlocks it, and then it would be contributed and work with the CFD that would be in effect, and we would start collecting money from the property owner on the CFD in lieu of them paying carrying costs, and then that money would be spent out until it's gone. And um, so there's a whole financial model that sort of relies on three things, really, or four things. One is property owner taking title to the property, that the CFD the CFD exists and is effective, but since we own all the property, we're not assessing ourselves. But once the property owner takes ownership of the property, we would then send the tax bills for the CFD to the county. They would start paying that, and again, that supplants their obligation to pay the carry costs, and we would be able to supplement any shortfall with this money. But basically, we uh, we we can't unlock the money until um, um, a cell has closed the landfill and received a racer on the cell, remedial action completion report, which is a sign off from DTSC that that part of the landfill is closed.
So how close are we? I know we discussed that earlier. So I just want to make sure we have money to pay these bills because that 2 million was being
Right.
sucked up.
Well, yeah. So the 2 million that came from the city a couple of months ago is really mostly we needed it for the cash flow purposes because the current agreements that we have with Carson Goose owner generally pay all of the carry costs, right? So in a given month, most or all of the carry costs are covered by CGO. But we have to pay the bills when we get the bills, and then we have to bill them for it, and we found ourselves in situations like you see here today, where the fund balance gets down pretty low, and we have to remind them that they owe us money, and so we did get a big bunch of checks in February. Got them pretty. I think they're caught up or pretty close to caught up on that.
And the 8 million, you said you had to do some paperwork on it. Will that go into this? That's for the road.
That's just for the road.
Okay, it's going to be deposited where?
The 8 million likely go to the city. I think it's actually the city.
I think so.
So just like all the other Leonardo money, which you don't see in this cash report, none of that sits in the CRA.
Okay.
The only Leonardo money that will come into the CRA would be the 12.5 million from the developer.
Yeah.
The developer deposit that would come into the CRA.
The CRA. My other question is the EIFD. There's about $1 million in that account.
Something like that.
Can this body request that, take it to the board and request that money be deposited in the CRA? It's a surplus sitting there.
Yeah, we could make the request. I think the best thing to do along those lines would be to develop a program or sort of not just a request that says, "Hey, you've got $1 million and we need it," but rather an ongoing program, whether it's a percentage of the EIFD as it comes in for this specific cost or this specific category or something like that. But we've talked about that. I've talked with the developer about it, and I think we're going to start working on preparing something that would go to the EIFD board for that.
Well, yeah, I'd like to do that if it's possible because, we need to make sure our cash is where it should be. So that was my question on that item. Did anyone else have a question?
Not on that item.
Not on that one. Okay, this is a receiving file.
Yes.
Receiving file. Thank you. Item number 4 was
Also receive and file.
Which one did you pull?
I wanted 5.
Oh. Just a quick report on that, Mr. Executive Director.
So item number 4, if you recall, when we got going on the Leonardo project, I think the Authority Council was concerned, and I think we were all concerned that that there was a lot of scrutiny. We've got Measure M money in it. We're using lease revenue bonds, and we wanted to be accountable and to make sure that the money is properly spent on the road. And so the city, um, the finance department did an RFP to select an auditor to actually kind of track both our accounting systems and our payment systems, and to make sure that the money is coming from the right bucket and being accounted for and used correctly. And so uh, Vasquez and Associates, who's actually the city's auditor, they just appeared at the city council. As Christie appeared at the city council at the last meeting, was engaged in it. And there's a couple of different milestones. And the first was that this report kind of reports on their review of all of our expenditures from the beginning, kind of the formal beginning of the pre-construction period, which they selected as August 1st of last year, of not last year, August 1st of 2024. And they went up through the commencement of construction, basically the end of June. And they went through all of our systems and all of our processes and prepared this report. And basically, they didn't find anything unusual, anything reportable. And basically that, we're doing things, we've got things set up correctly. Stuff is, expenditures are coming out of the right bucket of money. That we've got a paper trail in all of the expenditures, and it's things are looking pretty good. So the next report you'll get in a couple of months, they'll report on from July 1st, and I think we're going to have them take it through the end of March. So it'll be like the first 9 months of construction, the second half of 2025, and the first quarter of this year. And you'll get a similar report to this, hopefully similar findings that, everything is pretty good. The first, this one really was pre-construction activity, not a lot of construction activity, but we don't have any reason to believe that our construction bills are in any worse shape than our pre-construction bills. We think we're doing okay.
Okay. Any questions?
On 4?
Not on that
four.
item.
No.
I just have a general question.
Yes.
I don't know if this is the appropriate time,
Of course.
but as I'm looking at the report here, in consent item 2, it says we owe somebody or a group of people a little over $1 million, and we just found out that we have maybe 1.3 million, 1.4 million. Is that going to deplete our cash fund? Because as of today, that was back January, we had 600,000, but we said we got money in, and we had now over 1 million, maybe 1.3 million, 1.4 million. But as of today, it says we're giving authorization that we're spending a little over 1 million. So would that drain down the fund to less than 1 million then?
Let me make a correction,
Okay.
Mr. Raymond. So I looked at the account. So as of today, we have 1.9 million
1.9
in that account.
Okay.
Now, as far as that expense that you're speaking on,
Right.
I have to defer to Mr. Raymond.
Well, if 1 million comes out of 1.9 million and bring
Right.
us down in
We
900,000.
have
But
less than $1 million.
again, our agreements with the developer is that they're covering the O&M costs. So most of that, and there's some costs that aren't really O&M costs and aren't covered by our agreements with them. So it would not necessarily be 100% of that would come back to us from them, but most of that would come back to this. So yeah, there's a payable going out to the vendor, and then there's a receivable that then we send the invoice out to the developer to get the to get reimbursed. You know, I mean, from a cash flow perspective, our problem is that this is a good thing. We pay faster than we collect. So.
Okay. So that means we need another rush of money to come in.
Yeah.
To kind of get over that $1 million mark that we'd like to at least not go below. Okay.
Well, it means that when these invoices come in, they need to be sent to the developer ASAP.
Well, we do. We send the invoices out when we pay. You know, really at the same. It's not like we wait 30 days to invoice the developer. We pay the bills and we send the invoices out.
They're just slow in paying. You need to put some fire up under them.
Yeah,
Again.
We've had this conversation.
I know. We'll put some fire up under them. Diane will. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so receive and file. Item number 5. I'll defer to the Director Thomas, Board Member Thomas.
I just have so many titles.
That's okay.
Yes.
Wear them well.
So, having had a chance to go through your report, I have a few questions actually. So, my first question is I'd like to know the status of Edison, because in our last meeting and also in this report, there are some things in here that identify what Edison is, where the point where they're going to bring the power, and then after that we have to establish our own utility. And it's just a whole lot, and it's just blowing my mind that we have to have our own utility because of what Edison is saying they will not do. And I would like a status on that, and I'm wondering if we have some workarounds around that, because that just does not make sense to me.
So, so on Edison, to recap for the public, as we have been designing the street and all of the wet utilities and dry utilities in the street improvement plans, street lights, traffic signals, et cetera, et cetera. Generally, we as the master developer of the site would be responsible for what's called the backbone utility system. And the backbone utility system is you take the power from where Edison delivers it to you on site, you put the conduit in, and you construct the vaults, the underground vaults where the switchgear and transformers go. And then when it comes time to power up, Edison shows up, they run the wire down the conduit, they install the switchgear and the transformers in the vaults, they connect it up, they provide for the connections to the customer connections and do all that. We've been working really with Edison for the 10 years I've been here, because CAM was working with Edison on their dry utility design. They didn't have a final design when they stopped work, but we picked it up in 2022, I think, or early 2023, to pick up the utility design as we were kind of proceeding with, restarting Leonardo. About a year ago, about a year ago this time, we were very frustrating because Edison was really kind of slow to, approve stuff. There was another report we had to do, and then there was another report we had to do, and it's fine. we did that, and we sort of kept meeting their requirements and obligations. But they, in the summer, in the early part of the summer, they said, we have to send it to environmental, and so it spent the our plans and designs spent all summer in the environmental department at Edison, and they came back in September and said, based on our environmental concerns, largely, and there was a lot of back and forth on different types of designs, and could we construct the vault on, or we offered to construct the vault on in areas that did not have landfill debris. The streets, as you know, are clean soil. They would be in clean soil, and but even the points of receiving electricity, to the extent there was a vault, that we offered to do that. They were very concerned, and they remain very concerned about landfill gas and the safety of their employees and the safety of the system. And they said, we are not, in September, they said, we are not going to deliver you power. We'll deliver primary power, meaning the kind of large distribution power, to your property line. And then you will have to then take primary power and create a distribution system and distribute it to now your customers. So now your developer partners become your utility customers. And so we went back and forth with them for, another month or so. And they've we have dry utility consultants meet every week to kind of, because there's still a lot of stuff that we have to do with them. There's a global, which is that where they identify where the power would come from. They need to finalize that. There's a bunch of stuff on that. And we said, okay, well, at least this gets them off the dime, and we would now have to go create a utility, but at least we know what it is that we need to do, rather than just sitting and waiting for them to never answer our questions. So so we have completed the backbone design, which is the conduit and the vaults for that. That is either already in plan check or about to be in plan check for that through our plan checker, through TransTech. We have then hired a different and a higher license electrical designer to actually design an electrical system, which is 3 switch yards, because we would be receiving power from 3 different substations, 1 from the north up by Porsche, and 2 from the east, the south and the east, I think. And they're different voltages. There's 2 that are 12 kilovolts and 1 that's 16 kilovolts. So different parts of the site will be served by different voltages. But we've hired a different electrical designer, and they just completed the design, the single line design. It's called the single line design, last week or at the end of the week before. We've now got them to price out, the cost of all that switchgear and the cost of the cabling. So when you are Edison's customer and you develop a site like this, there's an allowance. Like they put the cable in, and they put the equipment and the switchgear in, and they don't charge you for it because they're going to get it paid back from the customers.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the position of looking at it, and we're working with the attorneys on trying to answer these questions. Are we still entitled to that allowance, even if we're not their customer? Because it's millions of dollars. It's like millions of dollars of stuff. Then the whole other part of this is, what does it look like for us to be the power company, right? Is it the CRA power company? Does the city need to become the power company? Somebody has to go finance. Um, it might be tens of millions of dollars of infrastructure. Now, that gets paid just like the utility gets paid back. That gets paid back through the rates that you charge to your customers, right? But you have to kind of front load it. Somebody's got to put money up to build all this infrastructure as buildings come online over the next 5 years, right? And so there's a whole financial model aspect to it of what is what does that look like? What does a cash flow look like? What does a financing look like? Who finances it? We've talked to the California Infrastructure Bank. They'd love to finance it, right? I mean, it's in their sweet spot. It's infrastructure. Probably the size is about the sort of thing that they do. But we're probably not, as a CRA, not necessarily a good borrower. And it might have to be the city the borrower. Now, if the city's the borrower, do they have to be the utility? You know, I mean, it's all these things. So we're working through all of this stuff right now. We have the design. We know what it is. We know what it would look like. All of the other questions about who owns it, who operates it. We know that like the operator of it, the person that sends the bills out would not be Tori and me, right? That there would be a contract with, and there are firms that do this. I mean, there's companies that manage little mini utilities, do that. You would have to have somebody that actually buys power on the daily, right, from the Cal independent system operator, right? And so there's a whole power side of it. You'd have to have somebody that has bucket trucks and electrical linemen, right? If there's an outage, that they would go out and just like Edison does, right? Because it's not Edison; they're not coming on the site. And
I'm sorry, I think I got enough of that,
yeah,
which is why this is driving me
yeah,
crazy. Because number one, how does Edison get to say what they're not going to do on a property? Number one. Number two, they're saying they want to protect their employees from any environment where there might be gas. Do they know that there's gas there, or did they just come up with this out of thin air? Did they run some tests and decide that there's gas there? How did they get to that point? Because they answer to the PUC.
yeah.
And for the PUC, I haven't heard any
Yeah.
conversation about them. So talk to me.
So let me answer the first question first. How do they get to say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can tell us that, but that doesn't mean anything, right?
Okay.
Except that, um, except that what they're working on, and this is what's very maddening, is that they're taking a very long time to do this. They have to go to the CPUC and obtain what's called an advice letter from the CPUC, and it's under what's called a Rule 18 deviation. And Rule 18 is the rules in California that say you as an investor-owned utility have an obligation to serve people in your territory. You must serve, right?
Yeah.
You have to serve. The Rule 18 deviation would be them preparing an application to the CPUC that says for all of these following reasons we can't, and the PUC would have to grant that. They'd have to go along with it. There's a chance that the PUC would say no, you got to do it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And so, but the thing is, you don't know until we don't get to drive that. We don't get to drive that. We don't go to the CPUC for the Rule 18. They have to do it.
Okay.
And what's driving us crazy is they haven't done it yet. Now,
okay, because I got an answer for that
okay,
too.
Okay, well, what
Go
we
ahead,
suspect is that we suspect that they know it's hard, and they they and they're trying to bulletproof it, and they're trying to cross all the T's and dot all the I's and get in, and there's because our dry utility consultants, like I said, they meet with them every week, and they come back and they go, yeah, it's still legal and environmental.
Yeah.
It's still legal and environmental. It's still legal and environmental. So they've had legal and environmental working on this since September. I met with them a month ago, February 4th or February 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And they said to me,
Mm-hmm.
still legal and environmental. You know,
Yeah, no, I'm past
okay.
that. I'm past
So
this.
so that's that. Now the other thing is that we went ahead and had to design a system that works on our site.
No,
right?
but
So,
before you get to that,
okay,
I'm still back here.
okay,
Right? Number one, I agree 100%. You don't get to say that this is your area and you're not going to provide, and now you have to become a utility. That is ridiculous, number one. Number two, I'm a strong believer that we don't have to wait for them to go to the PUC, that we need to go to the PUC and let the PUC know what's going on with this. And I say that because I, as a resident in Carson, had an issue with Edison in my area. This was about less than 10 years ago. And the conduit, because our electricity runs underground, over the years, because it's only good for 40 to 45 years before you start to have a problem. So that was the situation in my area between Central and Nestor, okay, going up to Abbottson, right around Mills Park. We were losing power every week. I petitioned to Edison. Hey, what is the deal? Got it. I tracked it. I did all of that. Long story short, and really shortening this story, is they said they didn't have any money to replace my conduit. No offense to anybody. I said, that's crap because you're charging me every month. So I went to the PUC and I made a speech at the PUC because I saw in my bill that Edison was asking for a rate increase. You're not even providing me with power. Long story short, after I talked to the mayor, after I talked to our PR person and moved it up the ladder, I got my meeting with the PUC. By the time I got done, before several months were over, they were redoing my conduit under my street. So you don't get to say no. And we should not have to go through all this process of trying to become a utility when they should provide the utility there. So if they're dragging their feet for me, for who I am, because I told them, I'm retired, I ain't got nothing else to do but make your life miserable. We need to have service. And I just think we're taking a long way around. I like the fact that you said, okay, you got the money, you should be able to do it. Are you going to pay for it? Or are you now saying the CRA or the city is going to have to pay for something that you're supposed to provide? There are too many loose ends there. So that's why I'm having a problem. And I'm reading this thing and I'm going, this is insanity. So we need to look at, in my opinion, a strategy that's going to get us more quickly, because everything I'm hearing as I meet with, Faring or whomever, they're ready in a short order to be able to start breaking ground and making things happen. And we're being held up by Edison. That makes no sense to me.
So
Talk to me.
I'm going to complain about Edison in a public meeting, and I'm not going to talk about strategy in a public meeting on
Okay.
video.
All right,
Let
that's
me
fine.
say
And-
this,
and-
JR. I'm going to, and I kind of had a discussion on this item. That's why I was late. It came up. I'm going to develop an ad hoc committee consisting of myself and board member Thomas, and we're going to break this down all the way down with all the attorneys, everybody around the table, taking no prisoners, because number one, the city's not going to be responsible. We're not going to, the CRA, because or Edison, if we have to go. So I just need to know what it is we need to do and what it is we haven't done, and let's push this wagon along because you and I have had this conversation. It's so we're gonna just develop an ad hoc committee.
Just one other question. As I was looking at the chart that you gave us, and thank you so much. I really appreciate the report and all that you have in it. And you mentioned also in the previous meeting that because of the rains that we have had, that your original schedule, the rains took care of your rain days and all of that. And you guys were going to be meeting and putting some of this. So as I look at this, that has new dates and all of that, is this as a result of new dates now looking at, or is this the old schedule, or what are we looking at?
Yeah, that abbreviated schedule, that high level schedule, is relatively new dates. I think it's been adjusted a little bit since then, but it did capture all of the initial delay, the 45 days at the beginning of the project. The old budget assumed that we were starting construction May 15th of last year. We didn't start construction until the end of June. So there was always a 45-day thing that we had to kind of roll that in. And as of right now, we've lost 44 weather days. Right. So it's not 44 days of rain, but there's the 5 days after that where it's just mud.
Right.
And dewatering is considered a
The
weather
pictures
day.
were great, by the way. We had a chance to see that. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that high level schedule is pretty close to accurate. I think there's a couple of days now that we've had to add to it, but it'll only be off by a few days.
Okay.
Not months and months and months.
Okay. I will close with that. I have some other thoughts, but I will close with that. We can visit it another time. Thank you.
While we're on this item, I'd like to develop an ad hoc committee consisting of Board Member Thomas and myself to meet with staff, or all the players, all hands on deck, so we can come up and see where we're going. Because when we start talking about who's going to provide power and it's their responsibility, somebody needs to say so. But I can't say this: the city's not going to be responsible. That's a big liability. And I know they were saying that the contaminated soil. My concern was also, well, they put power on other places, Playa Vista, Santa Monica. They went on and did all of that, and they're not responsible. That's your job. And so that's why I want to help.
And if I can just add just one little thing that's burning me, it's just burning me.
Don't want you to burn up, girl.
DTSC has approved everything we've asked them to approve at that site. DTSC is the governing body. They've got the results. So what test did Edison run that negates DTSC? If they're saying something, then DTSC should have said, oh, no, you can't do that. You understand what I'm saying? It's just not gelling. They're butting heads. So I just needed to throw them in this mix too.
I'm not going to
throw them in the gumbo.
Okay.
You don't need to answer. I'm just saying.
JR, we have your ad hoc. Let's pull all the players. I just came out of a meeting on this, so we can start sitting down with. I know Alshire has an attorney. You got yourself and all the players, Lennox and also Faring. They should be at the table, because if we does us no good to build and don't have any power.
No, you're correct. I mean, it's and again, I don't want to say too much publicly, but what Board Member Thomas was talking about is along the lines of what we've been kind of working towards.
So we just need to know. And then to the board, we're also having with myself and city staff and JR weekly meetings to discuss this project, because we are moving, but we all want to be moving at the same direction at the same time and the same pace. So that's my request to the board members. That's my motion, is that we develop an ad hoc committee. Oh, okay. Let's
get it going.
Let's vote.
Okay.
Crazy.
Hobson, did you put your, okay, thank Motion carries to establish the ad hoc committee.
Thank you. Consists of Diane, Board Member Thomas, and myself. You didn't hear it. Item number 6 is consider appointments to the position of the authority chair and the authority vice chair for the Carson Reclamation Authority.
Have a motion.
What?
Okay, I move that our mayor and current chair of the CRA be reelected as chair of the CRA, and that our current vice chair of the CRA be reelected as vice chair.
Second. It's been moved.
I didn't hit the speak up button fast enough. Okay, we start our vote. Who's abstaining?
Motion carries.
Oh, yes.
Ain't abstaining.
Okay. Oral communications for matters not listed on the agenda, Madam Board Member. Secretary.
Seeing none, Madam Chair.
Oral communications authority members.
Yes, I just want to thank high praise to the staff for the Black History program that took place this past Friday night on the 27th. It was well attended. The staff did an excellent job. It's just a pleasure for me. We want to thank CCCAF, Carson Citizens Cultural Arts Foundation, for their participation and supporting the event. But it is, as I work with the team, it is a pleasure working with the staff of the city of Carson because they are good. They are that good. And thank all of those of you who attended and all of you who could not make it for whatever reason. You missed a good night. It was a good night. So I appreciate the, I don't know how to say it. I appreciate that they allow me to work with them. And
Do they have a choice?
and we have a great time. So, and I thank you, Mayor Davis Holmes, for allowing me to be in that position as well. So, I'm complete.
Anyone else?
Well, my husband Bill Hobson has a birthday coming up on Wednesday, and I'd like to wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday. Happy birthday. That's great.
Board Member Aldridge?
No, I don't really have anything other than I got my reminder notice about the Form 700 that we need to have before the end of this month. So if
By
you,
April 1st, I
Due
think.
April
right, well,
1st.
that's by the end of this month. No.
Mine is, you got,
Okay.
I completed mine. I completed it.
Vice Chair?
Nothing.
Jeez, oh, Pete, well, nobody wanted to announce we having our State of the City coming up here. What's wrong
We
with
wanted you to say that.
Well, I could just sit back and say, yeah.
Oh,
On the 19th, our State of the City will be at the Community Center from 11. All of you commissioners should be in attendance at the meeting. Call all your neighbors and your friends. We don't want to have any less than the 800 we've had for the past couple of years. But it's on the billboard. But, you know, it's always good to call people and say, come on down. I think.
saw it on the freeway.
Oh, did you?
it's on the freeway.
Is that an
Okay.
RSVP or do you just show up?
You
or
need to
what?
RSVP because we're serving meals, and once we get to that magic number, if you know I haven't signed up, you won't be able to attend. So everyone has to sign up. I think this. I know the PIO is taking and tracking all the RSVP, so everyone has to RSVP. Okay. And so this will be my fifth State of the City address. And I don't know what we're going to keep doing, but anyway. The last one was the best, but all of them was, you know, each one they asked, what are you going to do different? And each one has been better, but this one's gonna be good. I don't know if it's gonna top last year, so don't.
6.
Well, we'll see. So anyway, make sure you're in attendance. To Mr. JR, thank you so much for putting up with us and and doing what you're doing.
I can't believe it's been 10 years.
We've learned. I think this board has learned more now that you're sharing with us. And I just want to say thank you because I know this is a challenging project that we're working on, and this is the closest we've ever been to making it a reality. And I want to thank you.
It's starting to feel like it's coming together, right?
Yes.
It's finally about to happen.
Yeah, at last.
Once that road gets in.
So the road will be finished. I know you're doing a lot of work there, and then we have met with the developers, and they have some exciting things that's going to be coming down that we cannot mention at this moment, but we're going to keep doing what we need to do because that's what we do. There's no such thing as can't, because can't means I won't. And we will not hear that. So thank you again. Hearing no further comments, this meeting is adjourned.